Sie hören Sport und Musik.
It's John Brooks for the USA! Das Spiel ist aus! Deutschland ist Weltmeister!
In a world where fans fight over whether to call it football, or soccer, two German men defy the odds and call it Fußball. Bringing you inside the German-American football experience. And now, here are your hosts, the Schnitzel Boys.
Hello. Good evening. I have an update. I was able to dislodge this piece of chicken that was stuck in my teeth successfully right before the show began.
That's
Perfect
a good
timing.
sign.
It's a good sign. This is going to be good. It's going to be a good one.
That is like a good luck charm. It's
Yes.
that's like in India that means 70 years of good potatoes. Or something.
I also had two packages come to me that I thought were lost. We have a little bit, we live in a bit of a wacky building here in Greenpoint, and sometimes the mail doesn't always make it to the intended recipient. And
Right.
I've had pretty good luck with my packages, but recently two of them had disappeared, and I had already informed the sender, and both of them turned up yesterday and today. That sort of restores your faith in humanity somewhat, I feel.
Yeah, no, that's good. I remember when I first moved to Brooklyn, my mom sent me for Christmas, I got these hats or whatever. Like, I don't know what they're called, golf caps.
Santa hats?
Well, no, golf caps. And my mom sent them up to me in the mail. Never got them. And a few things never made my way. And then one person even called me once or emailed me or whatever to be like, hey, is this your address? We sent it to you, and it sent it, and then we got it back. It was sent returned to sender. Like, as in, like, the address didn't exist or something like that. So I've had my frustrations with the Brooklyn Mail myself.
Yeah, there's definitely some. If you look at Google Maps, if you look at Google Maps and you see the reviews for the Brooklyn post offices, they often average certainly less than 2 stars, sometimes less than 1. I think the Greenpoint post office has a 0.8 star average of reviews.
I mean, I had my conspiracy theories going on. You know me with my theory. If there was cash in the envelopes, it probably never made it through. I had a theory that a lot of the mail was picked through and sort of taken over by the mafia.
You think you think prison rules apply? Prison applies for all of us. The mob reads our mail, and that's a lot of work.
Hey, they have machines for that. That's what the machine. Our tax dollars pay for those machines.
For the machines to read our mail and take the cash out and give it to the mob.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That is very technological.
All I know is to this day, I'm still really miss that hat. And there's some schmuck, low-level mob associate with a cool hat. It was supposed to be my hat.
That's bad.
That's what I think. All right, we got our boys in the chat.
Yeah.
It's a live show. We got a live interactive show. We got Seba S saying good evening.
He's taking credit. Sebas is taking credit for calling the Derby, the Leagues Cup Derby on Thursday. Yes. Am I going? Hell yeah, I'm going.
Yeah, 100% Seba S called it out.
I got tickets.
Hans Wolf said, hello, Jungs. David Riccio says, Auf geht's.
Auf geht's.
And then, like you said, Seba S said, I guess you could say, I called it. New York Red Bulls and NYCFC, born on the game. If New York Red Bulls win Leagues Cup, they win $40 million, and I bet Red Bulls will not spend that money. I think it's $50 million, isn't it? I thought it was a $50 million grand prize. Or am I wrong?
$50 million for whoever wins the Leagues Cup? That's the prize?
Yeah, they announced that. Yeah.
What?
That was part of the announcement. That was part of the. Yeah, you didn't know that?
That's an enormous amount of money.
I know. That's why they did it, to make sure they did it specifically to make the Leagues Cup a big
That's
deal.
like twice the annual salary budget of most clubs in
That's
MLS.
like 1 year of Leo Messi's low yearly salary. If he's getting paid $50 to $60 million and you win the Leagues Cup and presumably makes $50 million, you could pay for 1 year of Leo Messi.
They can keep him another year.
Yeah, as far as I know, the Leagues Cup grand prize is $50 million.
$2 million. $2 million
per player for bonuses.
$2 million for the champion.
Where are you reading this?
On the internet.
Yeah, I'm on the internet as well. Point system, group stage, knockout rounds, how to watch, Leagues Cup bracket. I could swear it was like $50 million. Am I wrong?
How much money does the winner of the Leagues Cup 2023 get? How does it compare? $2 million. This is as.com.
Oh, yeah, but that's a fake thing. Here we go. Leagues Cup. PortlandTimbers.com. All you need to know.
40 million. I cannot believe. That is an enormous amount of money considering the general economics of this league. That seems...
No. But it's 2 leagues. It's League MX. It's Apple. It's their big new thing. And I want to talk about Apple today, actually.
Oh, let's hear it.
Because I was on Reddit today, where I'm on. Maybe some of us are on as well. And I did some cursory math because some Apple TV figures have been making their way out into the internet.
Oh, tell us.
And by my math, so at first I did some very quick cursory math. I said, I did a little bit of a rundown. If it's like, there are 135,000 free subscriptions given to season ticket holders like you. You represent one of 135,000.
Okay.
Before Leo Messi was signed, there were 800,000 total subscribers. So just under 1 million, not just
including the 135 that are free.
Including the 135 that are free. So that means 665 paid. Now, then there was a Leo Messi bump. And we don't know what that is, but let's pretend it's 200,000. Let's pretend to bump this up to 1 million, which could very well be more. Because I don't know about you, but on Twitter and especially on the Facebook groups, I'm seeing a big uptick of randos who don't speak good English from anywhere, Africa and Asia, asking questions like, what Leagues Cup? Why no LAFC? Why no? It's like, why only Mexican American? Like, just the biggest questions. Where
LAFC's not in the Leagues Cup.
They are, but they're in a bye. We don't see them until next week, and literally all these questions are very easily Googleable. I'm just saying, there's a clear uptick in people that just showed up to the party.
People want to engage. People want you to tell them what's up.
It's a good thing. I don't think it's a bad thing.
Okay.
But like, I love it. But I'm noticing, there's an
uptick.
There's an uptick. I just yesterday had 3 different randos ask me to invite them to the MLS discussion Facebook group. You know what I mean? It's like people are showing up to the party.
People are coming.
So it could be more than 2.
But do they all buy subscriptions? Not all of them.
Yeah, I guess they're free. But if they want to watch all of Leo Messi's games, then they have to buy it, right?
Yeah, but it's now half off, right? Because it's late in the season.
Exactly. So let's pretend there's 1 million in my little game here. And a lot of people got it free through T-Mobile. A lot of people paid the half off price, which is just $50. Plenty of people like me paid $80 with a little bit of discount. A lot of people paid $100, and some people pay monthly. The $50. So let's average all that. Let's just pretend everyone's $100, right? Let's keep it even.
Nobody's paying $100. It's $80 is the maximum.
No, $100 is the price.
Not if you already have Apple TV.
Like me, it's $80. Or you pay more. Remember that's for the year. If you pay monthly, it's $15 a month. There's people who do that too.
I think that's probably too high an average, I would say. Well,
then what's the average? 80 then?
I mean, if that. probably less with all the free people and the half off people, and I would say
Well,
it might be less. I don't know.
Okay, let's go down. So let's say $75. Or if you want to go less, it just proves my point better.
Your point is
Let's go as low as you
your point is there not a lot of people are paying. There's not a lot of money coming in. Is what your
my
point
is with my fake numbers, pulling my butt and guessing, the revenue from subscriptions is maybe around $70 million for the season, give or take. Right? 72, 68, 66. Let's say 69 million because we're comedians. Let's make it funny. $69 million. Now, plus Fox Sports is paying for a nonlinear deal. I don't know how much. It's not much. A couple of million, maybe. I don't really know what they're paying for the non-exclusive deal. And then there's also ad revenue on top of the package.
I was going to say, yeah, exactly.
They're selling ads.
There's lots of ads.
But I mean, I would be surprised if those ads were significant amounts of money. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, I mean, in your experience, were those ads double the revenue? No, right? It's not like they're making another $70 million a year all the ads.
How
about this?
We don't know. We don't know,
but let's round up to $100 million. How about that? That's a big roundup, right? Huge roundup. Let's pretend it's $100 million, right? Last year, on the old TV deal, MLS made $90 million a year.
Okay.
We've got more clubs. MLS has to pay production costs. They're paying for the whole Apple TV thing.
Right.
So whatever, let's pretend the ad revenue made $30 million, which I think is high. How much do you think they spent on pulling a TV network out of their butt? Probably those same figures. So that can maybe even break even. So let's pretend MLS pays $30 million a year for the network, and that their ad revenue breaks even their production costs.
And
so
once they pay once they pay the Lease Cup winner $40 million, then there's not going to be anything left over.
Those are the sponsors. Like I said, I don't know where I read that. I can't find the source.
But
what I'm saying is this. Long story short, what I'm saying is this. Apple is blindly paying the league $250 million a year. However, Apple is losing, in my mind, what is that? $170 million a year, right? Is that the math?
I mean, give or take. I guess. Right.
So at first I was like, in my mind, I forgot about the Apple deal. I thought the revenue was revenue, and the league was pulling in less money than they did last year for TV rights, which is true. However, that's not true because MLS is making way more money because of the Apple deal. Apple's the one who's eating it right now, and it's I guess it's a win-win-win.
But it is a partnership. They kept saying it's a partnership, and they're going to figure out,
and that they can opt out, according to The Athletic, that if they don't hit numbers, Apple can cancel the deal with certain things. They don't want to talk about that, but that is in the fine writing, apparently. But what I'm saying is, thumbs up for the league. They're getting more money. Thumbs up for us, because we get a much better product, in my opinion. The Apple TV deal has been a big improvement over the past TV situation.
For sure.
And now we have to think to ourselves, is it thumbs up for Apple? Because Apple's really eating it, but they're $1 trillion company. They don't care about the losses.
Well, it's also a long-term. It's a long-term play, you know. Like, I mean, first of all, is that true? Like, you have 800,000 worldwide. That seems like I guess I could believe that number.
The New York Post. It's the New York Post. They recently wrote an article where that's the figure they got from someone in the know, but that's a pre-Messi figure.
Right.
Then there's a Messi bump that, in my mind, probably bumped it over $1 million.
Could be double.
Maybe. I mean,
who knows?
If his Instagram followers are an indication, it could be quite a bit. But what I'm saying is, like, yeah. But I'm just curious. Apple seems to also not care. Like, people are. I'm hearing online that they're convinced Apple could care less how much money they're losing.
Well, I think they're right. Exactly. They're getting into sports. They're getting new partnerships, and it's a long-term kind of a thing. Hopefully these numbers will go up.
And also, someone got really complicated with me about how sports, even though we're losing money, it's still cheaper than greenlighting 2 or 3 different pilots. Like, it's a good loss leader for subscriptions. Did some wizarding numbers, which is hard which I don't even want to dive into. But all I'm saying is that, like, we won the lottery. That's pretty much what I'm saying. Like, we're getting all this new money, and we're not earning it. We're very much subsidized by a giant $1 trillion tech giant, and it's just very cool.
That's all of soccer, right? All of soccer has become a gigantic worldwide vanity project where people who have more money than they know what to do with subsidize our pastime by paying enormous salaries, and that seems to be the way where things are headed.
Well, more power to him. More power to him.
More power to him.
Yeah, I mean, it is. The English Premier League makes way more money, but if they're losing money every year, which could very well be the case, just in general, the Bundesliga isn't losing money. No. I think overall the Bundesliga is a profitable operation.
The Germans don't like to lose money. They're very conservative financially.
That's why I brought this up, because when I read these numbers, my brain went in overdrive about how unhappy. Like, this is like, we're making less money this year than last year. But then I'm like, oh wait, it's all funny money anyway. It's Apple money. It's funny Apple money. So,
well, and I don't think it's the short term. Yeah, they're gonna figure out in like 2-3 years whether or not this is going well or not.
I mean, if they want to start breaking even, at least they're good. I mean, they must predict a very aggressive, positive future, which could very well be the case. Because in my mind, if the TV deal is making, let's say, $70 million, Leo Messi alone costs $60 million. How would he?
Yeah, but that's not investment? Apple. That's not Apple paying for him. That's Inter Miami.
Yeah, but but in my mind, how is that worth it for the Inter Miami owners?
Only thing, if all of these things that we've talked about, the only thing that doesn't make sense is that there should be a $40 million prize for winning the League's Cup. That cannot be possibly true.
Well, I could swear I read the winner makes $50 million.
That cannot be.
That's why I was like,
that cannot be. That cannot be true. You want to talk? I have some things to say about your team. I watched the entire. I think this was the first time all year that I watched the Red Bulls for the entire game. I have some questions. What is up? What?
Shoot.
What is up with Sean Nealis's mustache? He's trying to like.
Do you have a mustache?
Is this such a question memorial thing?
I have to Google it. I don't look as closely as the facial hair. Every week you're like, the dude looks like a musketeer.
He has a musketeer. There's a musketeer. There's a musketeer vibe. He had one yesterday.
Did he?
Do you
None
know
of Google images? Yeah, I watched the game, but I don't look very closely for mustaches. What I saw was a very exciting 5 minutes where Carlos Cornell, we were on the verge of losing with a penalty kick in stoppage time.
I have more questions before you get to that. Don't jump ahead. Why does Troy Lesane look like he just flew in from a wedding in Nantucket?
What? I don't get. What are you talking about? What does that mean?
Is this his normal look? He looks like a wedding guest.
What do you mean?
He was wearing an odd. He was wearing an odd. He was wearing an odd suit with a knit sort of square tie, which I don't know. I associate that with Nantucket. I don't know if that's accurate or not. But I was like, this is an odd thing to be wearing on the sidelines of a soccer game in New Jersey in July.
He dresses in a suit, which is great. That's how I prefer my coaches to dress. And he's very passionate. For instance, at the very beginning, he started asking the fourth official why the referee doesn't go to the monitor to check his VAR results, which I believe is policy. And the fourth official just told him to shut up. And Troy Lesane was rightfully upset because the referee, which... it isn't the end of the world, but the referee never went to the monitor. He just listened to the thing and was like, "Yeah, no goal." And I've never seen that. I haven't seen that yet.
In the Bundesliga, that happens very frequently. They do it like they do
calls?
A lot of for a lot of stuff. Like when it's offside, it's not a matter of judgment. and the referee just takes the VAR's word for it. It's like, oh, he was offside. All right, let's move on.
Yeah, this ref called back a goal, right? And didn't look at it. It was just a goal.
Well, that one was clear as day. The one that he called back, what's his name, was offside. What is his name? Luquinha. Yeah, he was very much offside. It was odd in the sense that he needed. Well, it's not odd. It just happens. He needed VAR to call that back. And that was pretty obvious that he was off. But then the other one, the linesman, it was quite close when the San Juan goal got called back. But that was called correctly by the linesman, even though that was much, much tighter. Anyway.
Right. Well, anyway, I don't know. Every week you talk about how people are the Three Musketeers and I'm just like, I'm not the fashion police. I don't look very closely at the fashion.
I have opinions. I don't watch this team very often. I'm like, why is he dressed like that? That's odd.
Why is it odd to be dressed in a professional suit for your work?
Well, I don't know. That did not look like a work suit to me. That looked like the suit you wear to your friend's wedding or whatever.
He's got a Taylor Twellman thing going on. He's got a little bit of a, I don't know. They're fashionable. That's the kind of suit Taylor Twellman and Stu Holden wear. It's like I don't know.
I think of Stu Holden and Taylor Twellman as more sure-footed in their fashion choices. I thought this was anyway, whatever. This is not a fashion. It's not a fashion podcast.
He's in a gray suit. He wears suits. I don't know. I'm glad. I'd rather that.
All right.
Very good. Training Anzug makes no sense to me.
I was feeling because he's not gonna sub himself in. Right.
Yeah. So what's the point?
I was feeling a rare connection between us watching this game, because it was like there was a similar for a lot of it. I felt like there was a similar vibe between what your team seemed like to me and what my team has been like this season. I mean, obviously very, very different styles in terms of, we like a lot of passing. You like the press and disrupt and whatever. But it's like when we arrive in good positions and get the ball,
nothing happens.
Nothing, yeah. Not much happens. And so yeah, I was kind of like, yeah, this is very different ways to get there, but kind of the same problem in the end. That no one kicks it in the goal. Like Dante Van Zier, obviously in the end was the 2-goal hero, but he sort of looked like the Timo Werner version of a striker, like who likes to camp out by the corner flag and make his way. Like he's not a real sort of target number 9. And okay, here's my other question. Tom Barlow, what the fuck?
Yeah, he's been doing that for 3 seasons.
What is happening?
Don't you notice? You can tell you haven't been watching games because I have not. I bring him up all the time. He's like the New York Red Bulls.
Right. But
he's the only player who's played in every game, and I'm not even exaggerating. He has been in every game for the last 3 seasons. The only New York Red Bulls player has been in every game.
He's very bad.
He's a USL level quality player.
I mean, there was one sequence that really exemplified it. He had a lot of space. He had some terrible touches, kind of had trouble even controlling the ball.
He doesn't have quality.
Completely shanked it up the wazoo, and then played loudly and aggressively. Was asking for a penalty.
Welcome to my world, Bjorn.
Wow. I would not trade that guy for Gabe Siegel. You could not, if you said, take Tom Barlow, give us Gabe Siegel, I would say no. We're going to keep Gabe. He's better than this.
A year or 2 ago, we had Tom Barlow and Brian White. And the New York Red Bulls traded away Brian White so they could keep Tom Barlow.
This Tom Barlow, we can't do. I mean, that's probably because nobody wanted him. That's
Tom Barlow.
But it seems like he has the look and the physique of a target striker. So he basically is Dante Van Zier's excuse to hang out by the corner flag because he's in the middle. But that is not working.
No. Tom Barlow, literally, I was thinking about this game. So that's why I would bring him up a lot. He's like our mascot because he represents the failure of the ownership to sign the quality players we need. Now, no hate on Tom Barlow. He's apparently a really sweet dude. He's probably a good locker room guy. And there is a reason he's played every game for the last 3 seasons. Like, there's A, we don't have the depth, and B, he doesn't get injured and he must show up. He must be on time or something.
He has pictures of Gerhard Struber having sex with animals.
I don't think Gerhard Struber posts those publicly. I don't think he cares if anybody has them or not. So he's like, that's not why. But the dude. But Tom Barlow is not the sufficient quality.
Wow, I mean, it was. He's
a USL player.
It was
he should be a winger. He's decent, hold up play, and I stress decent. But finisher, he is not. He'll never. So when he scores, which he has scored in the past, it's
Gabe Segal's got 2 this year in limited minutes.
Tom Barlow, I think, also has maybe 1 or 2 this year too. And when he scores, it means they did everything necessary.
It means the other
for anybody to score.
But it felt like this game felt like San Juan was asking you to blow them out. It was like San Luis. Oh, yeah. Sorry, no.
San Juan's a city in Puerto Rico.
And Costa Rica. I've been to San Juan, Costa Rica.
Is that next to San Jose, Costa Rica?
Okay, well, anyway. So
San Jose is the capital.
Moving on.
But we have the ball, we play with pep, but we can't score goals. Now, Dante Van Zier.
Yeah, there was a lot of piss and vinegar in that team. People are engaged, but it doesn't. It's very much like our offense. It's very disconnected in a lot of ways.
Well, yeah, we have 3 forwards.
It's like there's what's his name? Omar Fernandez,
Omar Fernandez,
who plays a game in his head with completely different teammates than the ones that are actually on the field.
He's one of our. Him and Frankie Amaya do really good. They've been our underrated MVPs.
Amaya is very useful in that number, in that shuttler role, and I think Edelman is a decent sort of number 6. I thought.
Yeah, Edelman's been having a breakout season this year. John Tolkien assisted both goals. Dante finished both goals.
Well, it seemed
one finisher. Dante's our only finisher. Not only Tom Barlow, real quick, Elias Manuel has also been a bust. He can't score either. He was on the field for a few minutes either.
He was really.
So we have 3 forwards. Elias Manuel and Tom Barlow, in my opinion, should be wingers at best, or shadow strikers. Where seemingly Dante Van Zier.
Manuel seemed like he didn't quite have the mobility to be a winger. He looked a little limited in range.
Well, all I know is that Dante Van Zier should be. He said he's not really number 9. They're not playing him as such, but he should be our number 9.
Yeah, it seems like he's
and Tom Barlow. Him and Tom Barlow need to invert. Like, there was a moment where Dante Van Zier tried to set up Tom Barlow like 2 or 3 times, and I was like, switch. Dante, like, switch.
What do you say? What would you call your formation? It's a straight 4-4-2, or it's more, or is it more that like, or is that more like, is it more like the RB 4-2-2-2?
It's like a 4. I don't even know, a 4-2.
I mean, it seems like
a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-3-1, something like that. Where I
don't think you don't have 3.
Edelman holding mid.
But you have 2 forwards. You have Barlow and Van Zier were the forwards. So there's definitely two up front. I would say
it does change. I will say, so it's hard to nail it down. Let's see. Let me look up the last.
I was trying to figure out how
it's listed as a 4-4-2 here.
Yeah, okay.
With Tom Barlow and Van Zier up top.
That makes sense.
Luquinhas coming in on the left, Omar Fernandez coming on the right, Edelman and mine. But it's you know what it is? It's a 4-2-2-2 is what it is. Because Edelman and Amaya in the back, Luquinhas and Omar Fernandez are the attacking midfielders, and Van Zier and Barlow up top. But the 2 and 2 up front are pretty interchangeable, to be honest. And then a back 4. With Carlos Coronel as a sweeper keeper. So it's a 4-2-2-2. But there isn't It's not like a barrel. It's like the midfielders kind of have free roaming range.
It's not it's not a diamond or anything. Anyway, but
yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, it's been a lot of like, where are our goals going to come from? Now, I still believe in Dante Van Zier. The dude has, you saw even, that little loop-de-loop, that thing where we touched it and went just out of bounds? We did what was called a sombrero?
He has some.
Real quick.
The
commentator said, "What a great sombrero." I've never heard that before. Do you know what that is?
Neither.
The commentator called what he did a sombrero, which is if you tap the ball, I guess with one tap before it's on its way out. I don't know. He called that move a sombrero like it was.
All right.
So, but Dante Van Zier has got the skills. The problem, and people are blaming him for not scoring enough. It's like he can only finish the opportunities he's given. He does miss some. He did a really big miss later in the game, like a big whiff.
Yeah.
But he scored 2 goals.
He had
5 chances. He'll nail 2 of them in, and that's all you could ask of your forward. So,
yeah, I mean, he was playing very wide. I thought, which
I thought so
too.
A lot
of it, which then doesn't get him. But I guess that is a function of what you're saying, that he doesn't get a lot of.
But who was
service, so he
wide?
has to go get the ball.
Tom Barlow was up top a lot. It's like that's in my mind, like switch.
Well, he's sort of
let Tom Barlow be wide. Let him kick in the box.
Understand what
Dante should be finishing.
Tom Barlow doesn't seem like he should start, but
we have no other option. So this is the New York Red Bulls.
Gabe Siegel gets paid $67,000 a year. He is significantly better than Tom Barlow. Take my word for it.
Tom Barlow, I think, makes more than that. Did you see?
No, that's what I'm saying. You can find somebody else. But
did you see the 2 players I used for our thumbnail tonight? The Ultimate Showdown.
Oh, I didn't see.
Yeah, I used Gabe Siegel.
Oh.
And I used Roland Dunkor, some random 18-year-old Ghanaian we signed a couple months ago, who's getting a lot of minutes. Because all of our players get a lot of minutes, because we have no players.
You have no players.
We have about 15 professionals, and they just rotate pretty heavily.
Well, it should have been a blowout. John Tolkien was sending zingers in all game, and people like couldn't even get their heads on him. Even though there were a lot of open headers that people then took with their shoulders.
Did you see the one Tom Barlow totally whiffed?
I mean, it was like an open header. It was just like, wow, this is remarkable. This team is asking for a blowout, and it just can't be done. And
but the last,
so that's what I thought. Like the first goal that Van Zier scored, I was just like, yeah, it was bound to happen. There was so many. I mean, this San Luis. I'm sorry, I don't mean to disrespect.
Atletico
San Luis.
Yeah.
Now that I'm saying it, I don't want to disrespect them. I want to say they were crap. They were terrible. The goalie looked very shaky. Their set piece defensive.
They had some crappy German.
Were not working.
They had some really fake German dude who was bad. I forgot his name.
Fake German dude. Anyway, so this really had all the makings of a blowout, and in the end, you really just got lucky. You got very fortunate. Carlos Cornell saved a pretty shitty penalty. Yeah,
saved it. Replay, hit on the counter of an invulnerable. Boom, our game. And then the last 5 minutes of this game were outstanding. Right when the stoppage time happened.
I mean, I enjoyed watching the whole thing. I've been at the risk of sounding like a Leagues Cup booster. I think it's been really fun. The whole idea. Sebas is asking if I was a Red Bulls fan at one point, and why did I switch to NYCFC? I've told that story before. I never really was I was a Red Bull. I tried to be a Red Bull fan when I first came. I came to. I'll try to give you the brief version here. But like when I first came to New York. I came to New York City in 94, and the league started in 96, and they were called the New York, New Jersey Metro Stars, which was an immediate disappointment to me when that name was announced. I was like, my excitement immediately took it. I was like, how can you? That's not a good name for a team. And then I went a couple times, but this was back then. They were also playing out in
Giant Stadium.
Giant Stadium. I was poor. I didn't have a car. It was hard for me to get out there. So I went a couple times, but I wasn't like, oh, I was, this was the 90s. The Knicks were good. The Yankees were all of a sudden good after years of not being good. So I got into basketball, baseball, when in Rome, I was like, I'm new to this country. I'm going to follow these sports. And so I was only very peripherally involved with MLS. And then when the stadium was built, I went a few times, but I also had felt like I kind of missed out, because it clearly had grown a lot and there was so I never really connected to it. And then when NYCFC came along, I just made I was like, before even anything was announced about them, I was like, if this is going to be the team that plays in New York, and I'm just going to be all in. My son, this also coincided with my son being of an age where he was playing soccer and he was ready to go into. So we were just like, okay, this new team, we're going to be all in. And so that's what happened.
You know what the biggest tragedy of the New York soccer scene is, in my opinion, as a hard-crusted American soccer nerd? You know what the biggest tragedy is, Bjorn?
What is it?
The New York Cosmos.
The New York Cosmos not being that second ML. I mean, yeah. I mean, in a way, yeah. I guess in a way, because that's what I was.
When the league launched, they made a conscious effort to completely pretend like NASL never happened.
Yeah,
they're like everything.
But then it was also, I think there was something. The Cosmos owners also, they wanted special license, right? There was also something.
Yeah, the rights of the Cosmos were owned by Pepe Pintor, who was a Miami restaurant owner. He wanted $1 million for it. They could have given him $1 million.
And then they didn't. Okay, I don't know the details. I thought No,
they made a conscious decision to have a whole new thing, screw our past, which over the years have been slowly rectified. Certain clubs have got their identity back, like St. Louis Sounders, Portland Timbers, Vancouver Whitecaps,
right.
San Jose Earthquakes, But for whatever reason, New York, and then when it was time, never did that. But when it was time for a second team, the New York Cosmos, some scam artist out of England named Paul Kemsley bought the New York Cosmos branding from Pepe Pinton. And I don't know if you remember this. He had all these Times Square billboards with Eric Cantona. Remember those in the New York Cosmos suits?
Right.
Being like, we are the New York Cosmos. But then this whole thing where like, screw MLS. We don't care about it. We're Umbro. They did their own thing. Like, we're going to be our own thing, which blew my mind. Because it's like, you guys need a league. Like,
you need to be, you're right.
You need the league.
Yeah, and I mean, then there was some other, what was the guy, the Rocco
B.
Comiso also was not a great, also
current owner,
bit of a nutbag.
He sued the league for promotion.
Yeah, like it was just not to be. I would have been excited to be a Cosmos fan. That's what I initially thought was going to happen.
It's a great brand,
and it is a great brand, and their logo is great, and. But
it's the biggest tragedy.
That is. Yeah, I could. That would have been a fun thing.
And it's a weird place now where it's like, there's rumblings with us Red Bulls fans. Maybe not all of us, but like
I guess
some people want the Cosmos
could be your
to
turn.
buy
You
the
could now. You could come. Yeah, this could happen.
I don't think.
No?
I don't think that would ever work because the Cosmos fans showed up. Remember how the New York was blue, New York was red? Well, there were a couple people, like my old roommate, who were Cosmos fans, that thought New York was green.
Yeah, they were. They had some for a period. They had some. I mean, when we played them in the Open Cup, they were a couple of. I mean, they beat us twice in the Open Cup, 2015, 2016.
But what I'm saying is,
and they did have a following. Yeah.
It's fractures. What I'm saying, like if tomorrow we brand the New York Cosmos. That would be really awkward because we have a giant Metros fan base that still calls themselves the Metros from the Metro Stars days. There are Red Bulls fans. I love the Red Bulls. And then there's the Cosmos fans who never, ever want anything to do with our organization. So, like, if we became the Cosmos all of a sudden, it's a very weird situation. The brand has almost been tarnished. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it could still happen or something. But all I know is that it would have been great for MLS to have a New York team called the New York Cosmos. Yeah, true. That would have been nice. I think that I
would have been ready for that, and then but then I was all in. But when I first like NYCFC, that doesn't exactly roll off the tongue, but better than the New York, New Jersey Metro Stars, I thought, in terms of
and then they actually rebranded themselves a couple times. They rebranded themselves to just be called the Metro Stars. They dropped the New York, New Jersey.
Oh, okay.
But that was the beginning of 18 rebrands. That's why the brand could never hit. Then the soda came in and bought them, and everyone hated that. And at first it was Red Bull New York, but then it became the New York Red Bulls. Anyway.
David Riccio is saying how he likes ESPN Plus.
That's right.
Talk about
I prefer
that?
we have to play.
That is a good game. That is a good deal. That is a good deal. The ESPN Plus deal is quite a good deal.
However, that's running its course because yes, Hans, you can watch every terrible Augsburg game on ESPN Plus if you so choose. Every game. I think we're talking about Tom Barlow there,
or teams like Bochum even.
Not necessarily.
Sometimes it doesn't.
Sometimes you log in and it says technical difficulty.
Yeah, sometimes it takes them until halftime to put the. Yeah. Clearly this is not. This doesn't have their full attention.
No. But what I will say is when ESPN FC launched or ESPN Plus launched, it was $5 a month. You had all the MLS games except for your market because of blackouts, and you had the Bundesliga, and you had the U.S. men's national team. They've lost the U.S. men's national team. They've lost MLS, and rumors are that starting next year, when the current contract expires, Bundesliga is next for Apple TV.
Oh, I'll take it.
Which I would be all about. And when that happens, I will officially cancel ESPN Plus because who the hell needs the Dutch and Belgian leagues for an extra $5 a month? I will gladly cancel.
I have it. Well, I don't pay anything for it. I have this weird. I think Verizon gives me Disney because I have Verizon self-service. I get Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus for free, I believe.
Probably just for a year, though, right? Overall, because I was Verizon. I think I had Disney Plus for free for a year. I paid for the bundle.
I should check
but
if I pay for it or not.
I will likely cancel it because when they don't have any of my properties anymore, I'm like, well, and also ESPN. I don't know, ESPN and me have never had the best relationship. I don't, we don't have to get, but they had soccer, but never treated soccer right, or they're pretending like soccer's an
ESPN.
Sport,
the ESPN FC pundits are the worst.
They're the worst. I watch them every day because they're our only option, and all they do is talk about like if it's not the English Premier League, it's not important.
I do not enjoy those people. Anyway,
Chelsea this, Chelsea that, Chelsea this, and this whole summer it's just been killing Mbappe this, killing Mbappe that. If I never have to hear his name one more time, I'll have succeeded in life because I don't want to.
Good luck.
Seba S catch up. I missed the MSG, the Red Bulls guys. That's true. We did lose that local flavor with this deal. That is true. Red Bulls, we've talked about.
But your guys are still around. Shep Messing's
but they have
studio and Steve, what's his name? Colangelo?
Steve Cangelosi.
I'm just I'm not usually so bad with names of people in cities, but tonight I guess I am.
All I'm saying is that we did. NYCFC did get hit way harder than we did. Because a lot of Red Bulls I figured when they were going to start an MLS network in New York, they would hire all the local talent first.
Poor Joe Tollison has to give halftime analysis in stadium now. He has he stands on the field at halftime with the stadium announcer whose eyes glaze over. He's like, "Oh, Joe's going to go on about tactics. I don't know what he's talking about." And then Joe will tell people while they're at the bathroom or getting food, will analyze what happened. It's a little
theory about that.
It's a little sad.
I've been all over Apple TV this week. I have another theory about that. If you want to hear my talent theory, it's because Apple TV, the quality has been good, with the imaging, with the images, right? The cameras are great.
The announcers are not.
The announcers are very vanilla. Remember we did our top 10. A lot of my favorite announcers did not make it through the Apple TV.
Last night it was Callum. No, please go ahead. I'm sorry.
I actually like Callum Williams. I don't like Kalen Carr, but
Callum Williams is the Derek Ray of Apple Plus.
I know.
He's got that same breathless. Yeah.
Oh, the Rebels are coming.
And another.
Another score. He's also full of fat. He's also always incorrect. He called Roman Berkey German for a whole game. And the last game, I think he got Barlow's number wrong multiple times. Anyway, it's 74. That's 75. Daniel Edelman's 75. Kept getting the numbers mixed up. But anyway, my theory is that CAA, which is a huge super talent agency, was tasked with casting the talent or something. They were like in charge of the program. And the way CAA works, living in Hollywood has given me insight. CAA does something called package deals, where if you hire, like in the movie world, if you hire one of their directors, you have to hire 2 or 3 of their actors and a couple of designers as well as a package. They come in packages. And my theory is when CAA was told to hire the talent, everybody on their roster got first dibs. They're just like, our talent just gets packaged in. And where guys like maybe Joe Tollison or Glenn Davis
Steve
or
Cangelosi as well.
Yeah, or like the LA guy here I like a lot, Joe Totino. All these guys who I thought missed out, they maybe have different agents or whatever, or not part of the package deal. And also, we're not cheap. They probably also, like I said, try to get the cheapest ones they can get their hands on to just save money a little bit, to hedge their bets. Whereas Taylor Twelman's the guy they spent money on. Everybody else is a budget pick. Is I could be wrong. Right. I don't know how much they're making, but that's what.
Yeah, I mean, like. It's a working. Yeah, the commentators. I mean, I like. Yeah, yesterday was Kellen Williams. I like Kellen Carr. I think he's. I like Taylor Twelman. I think he doesn't get a lot of love, but I think he did an NYCFC game recently, and I was like, if he has this level of, because I basically gave him props for everything he said about NYCFC. I thought, like, yeah, that's pretty right on, and if he has that level of detailed knowledge about all the teams, then hats off to him.
Yeah, he's a New York Red Bulls hater. He always says stupid things about us, but which probably is why he was so great with NYCFC. He's like, whatever is in the Red Bulls, I'm good at.
It's one or the other. Should we talk about that? I mean, one thing, yeah, like I said, the Leagues Cup is fun. I really enjoyed also watching Club America play. I mean, they were incredible against St. Louis FC. They looked like the best team in the tournament for now. We'll see until, Cincinnati beat Chivas. That was also, there were some predictions that
over 2 days.
It took them 2 days to beat him, but they did eventually.
Brandon Vasquez got a hat trick, right? Or he scored all 3 goals, didn't he?
I
know he scored at least 2.
I didn't watch that game either day, but I did watch the Club America game. I was very impressed with them. Not just were they very good, there was also just kind of there was just a different type. It was just kind of a different type of offense. It was just very fluid and just fast in a way that not a lot of MLS teams are.
Brandon Vasquez did get a hat trick. Just double check.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say Club America are favorites, are early favorites to the tournament, right?
It's just one game. We'll see, but we'll see. But that was an impressive.
Wait a minute, Leagues Cup's happening right now.
I'm
going to look at the score. Yeah, it's happening during our broadcast. Here, sorry, keep going. I didn't interrupt. I'm going to see the score. There's 3 or 4 games on.
Then let's talk about, while you check in on that, let's talk about my team, because my team enjoyed the Leagues Cup very much.
Club America is losing to Columbus 3-1 right now.
See, it's not,
it's all over the place.
Already old news. What I just said is old news. Forget it.
Puebla and
Lucas
Zelarayan
just went to Saudi Arabia today, so that's another thing that happened in Columbus. Chicago
David Riccio right there with you.
Puebla. Yeah. Oh, I didn't even know they were playing today. All right.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, we unfortunately lost to Atlas. By the way, I finally checked up on that goal. That goal should have stood 100%.
Which goal?
The goal that was called off after the 10-minute VAR delay against Atlas was 100% a goal, because it came off Jimmy.
Oh, from last week.
It came off Jimmy Sands' head.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
Anyway, water under the bridge, but we should have had at least a point, maybe. And then we played Toronto on Wednesday and beat them 5-0.
Your Toronto game was our Atlanta game, because we beat Atlanta 4-0 2 weeks ago, or whatever.
It was beautiful. I mean, and
we're not a goal scoring team,
and it marked the arrival of Backman.
Who?
Backman.
Who's Backman?
Our new striker got his first start. Munsif Bakra, young Algerian Munsif Bakra, who looked promising coming off the bench against Atlas, and then got a start and immediately scored. Hit a goal, hit it like a proper striker.
It was out of the box rocket, right?
It was just
looking at it,
I mean, it was it was, yeah, he just hit it hard, And I mean, we don't have anybody who does that. So that was good. And then the memes were flowing all over. They were clearly, something was released among the New York City fan base. We hadn't won in a long time. And people had memes, Backman being one of them. Munsif Bakrar is Backman, now known as Backman. Are you trying to say something? I can't hear you.
Oh, so am I?
Oh, no, you are speaking. Oh, I thought you were saying something. Okay, I'm sorry.
I do want to say something, but I'm breathing heavily. So sorry.
Okay, very good. So Backman, also somebody was tweeting, Nick Cushing, more like Nick Crushing. So people were sitting on material, and it was released all in one game. Sean Johnson got booed. Now I did not.
I told you. I
did not boo Sean Johnson, but it also didn't. There was some hand wringing. Our radio guys, Glenn Crooks and Roberto Abramowitz, in their podcast were like, "That is not right. You should not boo Sean Johnson." I'm like, okay. I mean, I didn't. I agree, sort of. I didn't boo him, but like, I thought I got a little tickled. I don't know.
Well, hold on. When he signed with Toronto, what did he say? He said it's good to play in a soccer stadium.
Yeah, he didn't. He said some things like that.
If you say that, you're allowed to then get booed.
I agree. He's allowed. They were like, well, he's allowed to go for the better contract. I'm like, sure, he's totally allowed. But then when he comes back, maybe he'll get booed. That's also okay. Nobody did anything. I would say, in my opinion, nobody did anything wrong. Sean Johnson did nothing wrong. The people booing him also did nothing wrong, in my opinion.
He makes more money, but he's a total dumpster fire.
I mean, Toronto. This tempers the expectation. Zebas was asking earlier for a prognosis, for a prediction for this game on Thursday. I mean, Toronto are a ridiculous mess of a team, like just terrible. If you look at, I mean, it's bad. So I don't know how much to read into this. I think it looked in this game as if the arrival of a proper number 9 basically unlocked everything and put people in their proper spots, and now the offense is humming. But we'll have to see if that works against a team that's more defensively engaged, which the Red Bulls definitely are.
Oh, yeah.
So, but I think we do. You could see, Santi Rodriguez had a good game. He clearly is going to benefit from Backman's arrival. And
why is he called Backman?
Bakrar,
Bakrar.
Bakrar, Back. I didn't make this up.
Part of his name. Okay.
The memes were immediately showed up. Anyway, so we'll see. I think this is a good. Obviously, it's a good sign. He looks like the right. He is not. He is not a guy who you're going to find by the corner flag. He's a proper striker. He makes the runs that a 9 makes. He's very direct. He's got some pace. He's got some moves. He did the Ronaldo celebration, some pointed actions for that in my book. I don't love that, but you can't have it all. He had a very good game, looked good, and but Toronto are terrible. And then they yanked. If your Italian DP gets out muscled in the midfield 3 times by Keaton Parks, you have a problem.
Which one was it?
Bernadeschi. Insigne is Insigne
injured or something?
He seems disinterested, right? Isn't that he's not in the squad? Bernadeschi, he played sort of in the first half, but then because we were 3-0 up, and then everybody got yanked. Bernadeschi everybody got yanked at halftime because it was like, they're not coming back to win this game. We need him next time. So if you want to really get a chuckle, I recommend the highlight of our 5th goal, the final goal. And don't watch Santi Rodriguez and Talles Magno, who Santi scored as Talles' assist. Just watch Toronto's number 6, and he is just like complete. He has like, he kind of jogs towards goal. Everything happens around him. There are a couple of moments where he sort of flinches, where he's like, "Oh, I could totally do something," but then just decides, "What's the point? We're already."
That's the Toronto season in a nutshell. They took that
He's
as
like,
a gift.
he's like, "Oh,
And like, this is our 2023 season.
I'm close enough. I could intervene, but
Yeah.
no."
So let's do a little, absolutely. Let's do a little chat catch up. So we have Seba S. His prediction for the game is a 2-1 with a Dante Van Zier brace, right? Where am I reading that? I have to catch up here a little bit.
Yeah, that's
you're
going
to be red. You're going to. I would love that, but true.
I mean, I'm not gonna. I mean, I hope that this is a big signing. We have some other signings coming in. I don't think they're going to be ready by.
You know who has a big signing, Bjorn?
You got Everton legend Yerry Mina's kid, right?
Little brother.
Oh, brother, not his
brother, not his son, not his child, his little brother. I think. I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
It could also be a total lie. So we and I didn't know we would have anybody, but we signed ourselves a right back, baby. That's all the depth we need. That's the firepower we need. That is the last piece of the missing puzzle.
It's gonna
you're gonna
blow us away. Listen, we have not had a good recent track record. Again, I'm certainly not going to.
Can I give you a history lesson, Bjorn?
I mean, we're kind of due to win one, I would say.
Can I give you a history lesson about New York Red Bulls and Little
Let's
Brothers?
hear it.
There have been 3. Juan Mina, I think his name.
Mm-hmm.
Marks the 4th, and Seba S. Help me if I'm wrong. If someone marks the 4th little brother we've signed, and
Brad BWP being the most prominent.
So we have 4. BWP was the most prominent. He was a big hit. And Seba S. earlier asked a question about why can't we sign a dude from England or the Bundesliga 2 to be like a new BWP? Oh, we're believing it. We hope so. I think they're trying. And I think, dude, like someone like Luquinhas really bothers me because he is our big DP signing. We pay him millions of dollars. And I Googled it. So I'm just like, they signed him from Flamengo or something? No. They signed him from Poland. As a 14-year-old, Luquinhas went to Portugal to play for a now-defunct club that doesn't exist anymore. Then he played the Benfica reserves.
I mean,
then played for another club I've never heard of. And then went to Poland.
That's probably not his fault.
No, but what I'm saying is, this is part of a bigger.
Luquinhas played for this team and they shut down after. Like, this is hopeless.
But what I'm saying is, he's our super Brazilian DP. The dude's never played in Brazil. His highest level he's ever played is Legia Warsaw in Poland. I'm like, it's the Polish league?
Well,
should we be spending millions of dollars?
They're a Champions League team, potentially.
Should we be spending millions of dollars? And Luquinhas' numbers, the New York Red Bulls, are disappointing.
Pac-Man's coming from the Croatian league. That doesn't necessarily mean anything.
To finish my point, Luquinhas' numbers are better at the New York Red Bulls than any other club he's been at. So if anything, he's punching above his weight. Why should we be surprised that this is his level? You knew this was his level. You know, like, why are we spending, like, if you want to spend millions of dollars on Brazil and you go to Flamengo, you go to Corinthians, you go to Sao Paulo Football Club, you go to Palmeiras, go to Atlético Mineiro, Atlético Paranaense, you go to one of those clubs and you sign a player and give him millions of dollars. You don't go to Legia Warsaw to find some obscure dude.
Those are all very sexy sounding teams. You did a very nice job pronouncing
Flamengo, Fluminense, São Caetano.
The way that Brazilian Portuguese sounds is very appealing. Very appealing.
Yeah, I love it. Me gusta mucho. That's Spanish at all.
That's Spanish.
Muito gosto. God, it's been forever since I've spoken Portuguese. Anyway, that's a little side rant. But we've had 4 brothers. Bradley Wright Phillips was Sean Wright Phillips' brother. He was the bigger hit. In the past, we've also had, now we got Juan Mina, we had John Rooney in the past.
Oh, John Rooney Wayne's brother?
I Googled him. He's still an active soccer player. He plays for
should have been
Macclesfield Town or someone. He plays for someone somewhere.
I remember when Paul Pogba's brother played for Atlanta, and that was funny. He was like, he looks like Paul. He looks like Paul, but he sure doesn't play like him.
The Charlie Murphy to Eddie Murphy. And then the biggest story was we had a guy named Gigon. Speaking of Brazil, it's Gigon. You know who Gigon was? You know who his bigger brother was?
No.
Kaká. So all our little brothers, real brothers, ended up playing for different clubs. Wayne Rooney went to our rivals, DC. Kaká went to Orlando City. Sean Wright Phillips showed up, but he was kind of past his prime already. And then now we have Jan Mina, which means Yerry Mina is going to go to Miami or something. He's going to go somewhere. Who knows if he's still playing? I don't even know. But that's been a little. Gigel was a fraud. He was Kaká. He never played much. He was really, really bad. And then when I went to Rudy's, you know that bar in Midtown where they have free hot dogs? Rudy's, great bar.
Yeah. On 9th Avenue.
I was out back where they have the screen playing the World Cup games. This would have been 2014, maybe, something like that. Or 2012 for the Euros. I sat with a bunch of Brazilians, and we talked soccer. And I mentioned I'm a young Red Bulls fan. We got Gigo, and the guy laughed because he went to high school with Gigo.
Oh, no.
And at high school, he was a goalkeeper. But for the New York Red Bulls, he was a center back 3 years later. So we both laughed at how much of a fraud he was.
He lost his luggage. I don't have my gloves. They're like, oh, it's fine. I'll just play center back. Doesn't matter.
And 100% he was just being there so we could convince Kaká to come. And it didn't work because he went to Orlando. So that's been the history of the New York Red Bulls and their little brothers. We got a new little brother, Juan Mina, coming by. So it's another little brother coming by.
What could possibly go wrong?
As just to say that our player signings are very hit or miss. But, he's 19, he's young. This seems like a good signing.
I do not believe, Sebas is asking, I do not believe it will be packed. It won't be packed because on Friday I went to see Newcastle play Brighton at Red Bull Arena and it was packed. It was packed, sold out to the hilt.
Was it?
For a pretty benign, it was a pretty benign kick around.
Yeah.
There was not a lot of, I had a great time. I was there with my friend and his son and pleasant evening, all that. So it was nice, but and it was $30. I think we pay, it's not expensive.
Right.
So, but it is wild how even sort of those kind of more mid-table, Newcastle finished third, right? I guess so. But, these are not the big six teams, but they still fill up Red Bull Arena. Even though I kept saying the Leagues Cup game was more exciting, but there were very few people. So I don't think they're going to sell it out on Thursday, but there is going to be. This is another thing, our fans just have decided they don't want to go to Red Bull Arena. They have some principle objection to playing there, blah, blah, blah. And I think
that's funny because our fans, that's the only game of the year they go to. So It's like a total inversion.
No, and our fans, if it's a road game, somebody was saying on Twitter, because we would have probably, even if by some math we would have had home advantage, we probably would have had to play at Red Bull Arena anyway.
Right.
Somebody was saying on Twitter, oh, the Red Bulls actually have home field for this game. And one of our fans responded, it's like, that's good, then our fans will show up for it. Because our fans also come in larger numbers to if it's a road game than if we have a home game against somebody else. And I think people need to get over it. Now, I understand that people didn't want to normalize it before there was a stadium. They didn't want to be like, oh, eventually we're going to just end up that being our home field or whatever. And but now the stadium's coming and you just got to get over it. More people should have been at that game, at the Toronto game. They were like, I don't know. I'm bad at estimating it, but maybe 2,000, 2,500 people. I don't know. It's not a lot, not a big crowd. And people just need to get over it and show up for this. Every once in a while, we're going to have to play there. The baseball stadiums are not always available. And make peace with it. It's a nice stadium. It's not a hard commute. I took the PATH train both times. It's a pretty easy, depending on where you are. I don't think I get to Yankee Stadium any quicker than I get to Red Bull Arena from my house by public transport. Yeah, anyway, that's my rant.
For me, it's always equidistant. Yeah, no, 100%. It's going to be healthy. It won't be a full house, unfortunately, but it's going to be a healthy crowd. One of the better crowds at Red Bull Arena this season. But I want to say a quick thing on the Premier League Summer Series and all that crap. We have a lot going on this summer. I decided not to go to the Borussia Dortmund game on Thursday.
Okay.
And I left it on TV. It seemed to be quite a paltry audience there. So the excitement was, there wasn't a lot of people excited about that game. And then when Borussia Dortmund went to Las Vegas, was also, there were people there, but it wasn't a full house. It was like half to 3/4 of a house. This is Man United. We're talking. I thought it would be a full house. And then Juventus. So Juventus played AC Milan at the Galaxy home stadium, and they didn't fill the upper bowl. So some games, I went to the 82,000 Real Madrid AC Milan game. That was big. And you went to the Man United Arsenal game. So some games are selling out. But there's a lot. Fulham's in town. Brighton's in town. Newcastle. A lot of English. Man United, Arsenal, AC Milan, Juventus, Borussia Dortmund. They're all in town. Plus, Club America, Cruz Azul. They're all in town. The Women's World Cup's going on. There's a lot of soccer going on right now. And
Colombia. We lost to Colombia again.
Oh, yeah. I saw that game live. Heartbreaking.
I mean,
what I'm saying is,
what's her name? Caicedo, the left back, though.
Yeah, the 18. She recovered cancer when she was 14 years old, or she was I don't know. She was amazing.
Can't feel too bad about that.
Also, Germany has who they got next. They got Korea next, who I think are already eliminated.
Yeah.
So
right.
Germany's still going through. Hopefully, knock on. We've been eliminated by Korea before, but hopefully, knock on wood, they're going through. But anyway, what I'm saying is it's interesting how they're really pushing the limits this summer friendly season. Some are doing well, but some are not doing well. Like the Juventus AC Milan game had a surprisingly small audience for a small crowd for what it was. And I'm curious if it's fatigue, if it's too much, or what. It's just very interesting. I don't know. That's all I wanted to say.
Okay.
I don't know. Brighton's packing the stadium, but Juventus and AC Milan are not. So it's an interesting spot where it's also a litmus test to how the English Premier League is very, very dominant. And the only exceptions maybe out here on the West Coast is Real Madrid and Barca have the West Coast. Because we saw that game in Texas was packed, that Barca game that won 3-0. And on the East Coast, it's all Prem, and that's who sells. I think the Bundesliga in Italy is still a little step behind when it comes to selling out.
For sure.
But overall fun stuff. Sorry we missed in the chat. Hans Wolf talks about how streaming used to be more affordable and better. 100%. They cornered the market, got less product, and up the price. Typical capitalism. Rawr! Seba's feeling New York's going to win 2-1. Hans Wolf, I was working at RBA, man, just 2 days ago.
Oh, yeah. You were talking about how
right.
you were right.
A secret NDA bus, Chinatown bus situation.
Undaf. I was looking for Undaf, but he was not on the team, I don't think, the German striker.
You saw Pascal Gross, though, right? Or was it a different game?
Yeah, he was playing. But yeah, I was that would have been fun. I was my friend got the tickets. I'm just along for the ride for these English games. I don't go out of my way to watch preseason Premier League games, but when my friends invite me, of course I will go.
No, you went to 2 in a week.
Exactly. It's true.
And they're the Barca, there was a game. Oh, the Man United Borussia Dortmund game was a lot of fun. They're fun. They can be fun. Sometimes they're duds, but they can be fun games.
Yeah, this one was. There were 2 late goals for Newcastle, but it was it's like these preseason games. They start kind of, and then in the second half, then there's a lot of subs and whatever coherence there was. It just all goes crazy. It just all gets chaotic. So it loses its. Usually in a soccer, usually the tension builds throughout, and these preseason games are the opposite. It's like everybody's very excited, and then it just kind of flattens out.
Implodes.
Yeah.
Seb S says you guys should do more live streams. I like them. Hell yeah, baby. We're going to be daily pretty soon.
Oh my God.
I'm joking. However, I haven't talked about this with Bjorn yet, but we're going to start doing a German broadcast again. So because the Bundesliga 2 kicked off, the Women's World Cup is
going. Yeah.
Bundesliga 1's only 3 weeks away.
We're gonna start doing previews. We're gonna have our economic special. Yeah.
So German content's coming back in a bigger way. And then the one other
meanwhile, Leagues Cup.
Meanwhile, Leagues Cup. The last Leagues Cup thought I had was what we did not get to see in the New York Atletico San Luis game. You know what it was? You know what we should have seen, but we didn't see? You know, I'm not speaking English right now. You know what's the one thing that I would like to have seen, but we didn't see, Bjorn? It's that if Atletico San Luis went to penalties with us for any reason, for instance, if it was tied, which it was,
right,
then San Luis would have been eliminated before the penalty kick out. What do they call it? Penalty shootout started.
Right, yes.
Because of the rules of Leagues Cup, they have to have a penalty kick shootout afterwards. No.
Well, it would have determined. It would have determined that. It would have then determined whether or not you're the winners of the group or not.
Yeah, but I'm saying they were a lame duck. I would like to have seen what that would have been. I would like to have seen when a team has to kick penalties, even though they just learned.
But these are competitive. I mean, it's like at the Arsenal Man United game, they did a penalty shootout for no reason at all.
Yeah, but that's a friendly.
Just
you know what I'm talking about? I would love to have seen the players' faces if they step up to kick these goals to be like, we're already eliminated. Why are we still playing? I would like to have seen what that would have been. I would like to have seen that.
Okay.
I just want to see a lame duck shootout.
The lame duck shootout.
Lame duck shootout.
LDS.
Which is no more. Check in on the scores. We've got Puebla and Chicago are in penalties right now. Columbus beat Club America 4-1. Destroyed Club America. Ooh. We've got Toluca.
So funny after I didn't even know they were playing. After I just declared them the favorites of the tournament. It's funny. Soccer's funny like that.
Soccer is funny like that. What I will say, it's the bigger clubs are doing well. The smaller Mexican clubs are doing worse, and MLS clubs.
Seattle
was
doing great for like 10 minutes yesterday.
But it's very much.
They needed 3 goals to have a chance against.
And they got 2, right?
They got 2 very early, but then fell apart. Then they got
4-2. 2-4, bing, 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 bing. But what I'm saying is the MLS clubs are proving all be parity clubs.
Yes.
And Mexico is like the have and the have not. It's like we're seeing that. So the knockout round starts on Wednesday, I believe. Our big showdown's on Thursday.
It does.
Can't wait.
Thursday. We don't know what time yet, but I do have tickets. A ticket.
Heck yeah. I wish I could be at the party. David Richard Shaqiri, that little bastard's fun to watch. Yes, he is. Saved by S. The final go Red Bulls Toronto should be happy because of dumpster fire. Hell yeah, I'm excited for a goal fest. I'm feeling good things about that game. Famous last words. All right, we've been the Shits and Boys. We've been Shits Nights Monday. The party is
Bye. Have a
Goodbye
great week, everybody.
Goodbye, David Riccio. Goodbye, Hansel.
Bye, Hans. Bye, Sam.
Tom, if you're listening, we haven't forgot about you, Tom. And the other gang. Daniel Young, if you're listening, I hope all is well with your studies. And if you're new, hop in on the party live chat Monday nights. Tschüss.
Tschüss. Oh, cool.